Can you study for the SAT and the ACT at the same time? Yes, and many students should. The overlap is almost complete now. The SAT greatly changed itself in 2016. Before then, it was a substantially different test from the ACT. Now, because the SAT deliberately copied much of the ACT, they thought it was a more appealing format. They were losing market share to the ACT. So the makers of the SAT conformed. And now, the only significant difference is that the ACT has science reasoning, and if you're therefore studying for the SAT, you are building up skills for 3 of the 4 ACT sections. You actually are probably building more astute skills on the ACT's reading and language sections, because the SAT is a little more intricate. And if you can do battle with intricacy, then the more straightforward, not so intricate ACT should be very easy. You don't have to do much extra tutoring. Work on the science, work on some of the extras that the ACT will have beyond science, but it's not much. And most students will relish that if you're studying for ACT, you don't have to do vocabulary. The SAT is still laden with tough vocabulary in its answer choices. The ACT doesn't do that. Students might also like that the ACT doesn't have these old English passages that are 120 years old. They're fairly modern throughout the ACT. 70 years old is about the worst you get. English has not changed much then. So a student who's been steered towards SAT should at least consider the ACT as well. A lot of my students only go for the ACT, feeling it's a more comfortable test, and then they might add on SAT, which is an easy move as well. If you're starting SAT, please at least look into spending a few extra weeks of study and seeing what you could do on the ACT a month later. I'm Mark Greenstein.